From my perspective, I think everybody in this room can be on this panel, just to be honest, because I know a lot of you in this room are doing great work. A lot of it is great organizing work on the ground. So really, I think this panel is more a reflection of all the great work that everybody's doing here in this room. These three panels going to touch on some of the major issues that was highlighted today with the legislative advocacy presentation and some of the comments that Angelica brought up earlier about low-wage immigrant workers in California. Wage theft, labor violations, I think we have worked on that in so many different ways, either through organizing, through legal litigation work, and through policy work. That's going to be reflected in this panel. The outsourcing, the subcontracting, we're going to hear a lot of that as well in this panel. The challenges to really finding workplace justice when you have this new makeup of these industries. And then also immigration enforcement. So I think as Angelica and others brought up this morning, you cannot disconnect the issue of workers' rights and immigration, especially here in California, especially in places like San Francisco and Los Angeles. And so that's going to be highlighted in this panel. But also, these panels are great panels to highlight examples of really effective coalition building. You don't win a campaign by yourself. You don't organize in a hole. You have to. It's not a black hole you organize. You have to reach out and develop effective key alliances. We have these panels. Organized labor is a key alliance in each one of these panels, either through the AFL-CIO Worker Center partnership that John Hyatt from the AFL-CIO is here, or the Change the Wind Federation supporting the Warehouse Workers United campaign. But then also Monica Guisa, she's going to talk about an issue in Berkeley with Pacific Steel where there was a strong organized labor support to help with that campaign. So it's great that organized labor has really, there's going to be some good examples of how organized labor has become a powerful and key allies in the struggle for workplace justice and worker justice here in California. Also, coalition building with other groups. So there's worker centers, interfaith groups, other key alliances that is necessary to win these kind of campaigns. So that you're going to hear a lot about that in the panel. But then you're also going to hear some examples of, challenges, organizers' strategies to overcome some of those challenges, new innovative strategies. So we're rethinking new ideas, re-strategizing, figuring out how to overcome the new challenges that workers face when they're organizing. So you're going to get a lot of that from this panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce each of the speakers quickly, and then we'll get to the presentations. And each of the presenters, each of the groups presented has 10 minutes, so I will try to nudge them with my own little timesheets to make sure we get back on schedule. Because I do want to leave for clarification questions before we break out into groups. And then what we're not able to cover in this panel, we can probably cover in the breakout groups after the panel. So from the Clean Car Wash campaign, we have Nady Dominguez, who's the strategic director for the campaign. And then John Hyatt, who took his time. Being chief of staff for Rich Trumka means you don't have much time on your hands. And the fact that John came all the way out here to spend the day with us, I think, really shows the commitment that the AFL-CIO has for immigrant workers. Next panel, we have Shahir Kouisi from the Warehouse Workers United campaign, and Ruben Valadez from the Warehouse Workers United campaign. They just started a 50-mile march this weekend, and they're here in Los Angeles, and tomorrow. They're going to be in City Hall tomorrow, so they'll talk about how we can all be in City Hall to support them tomorrow. And then Monica Guisa is one of my favorite lawyers in the movement. We go back a long way in history. I mean, we worked on so many hard, tough fights together, and she's an associate from Weinberg, Roger, and Rosendale, and she's going to talk about the type of immigration enforcement organizing with the Pacific Steel campaign. So I'm going to turn it over to Nady and John to talk about the Clean Car Wash campaign.